Hello, 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 everyone. My name's Chris Ferguson, and welcome to You've Championed Yourself, Who Are You podcast. It has been a dream of mine to showcase people, ordinary people, people who have taken their dreams and ideas and then turned it into their reality. As they reach beyond their personal struggles, their pains, their traumas, where so many other people give up and lose hope, there are those who can walk through those obstacles and those challenges and those traumas and their pains, not knowing where it's going to take them, but trusting themselves enough not to give up. Do the follow through in their personal life, their career, and in their relationships. They are what I consider champions. And today I have an amazing, amazing woman here. Her name is Jeanita Kennedy, and she's a personal friend. We've known each other for lifetimes. It's just we're sisters connected at the core. And I wanted to bring her on here because she has special things that she does. She has a unique understanding of life, and she does some amazing things for the planet. But I don't want to say any more than that. So let's bring Jeanita on. Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Do you remember how we met? Was it on a Zoom call?
It was through who we have a mutual friend now, Karen.
Yes.
My friend's little boy got lost, and I went on live and I kind of spoke about it. And she's the one that recommended me to you because you deal with missing person or cases and help the polices. And that's when I called you. And then we stayed in touch after that.
Yeah, it's been a connection of a lifetime. And I love that. But the thing is that in your practices as a Navajo healer woman, can I say that? Or a Navajo healer? As a woman, it's different than men who have been in the shamanic practice or the Native American practices, to have women step up and do these special things for humanity. And I love you for that. I have to say I honor you because in the time I've known you, you've gone through such a transition. But from then to now, it's like, who's this woman? She's amazing. She keeps getting amazing. So I totally forgot. I thought it was we linked on a Zoom meeting, but that ever since COVID, I kind of get this brain fog and I forget. I don't know what's going on, but in that, talk about how you do healings. Talk about the things that you do that are special to you, because I don't want to talk about the hand trembling yet, but we're going to get to that. So okay. Just kind of the backstory of how you got from there to now.
Wow. Where do I even begin? I don't know. I don't know where to begin. Except I guess, let's see, 4 years ago now, we had the No Dabble protest in South Dakota or North Dakota. And I went down there to run some supplies, and I prayed to the water. And I told the water that I would always protect it, and talk to the earth, and and told her I was at her beck and call. And from there, things just took off. Tower moments after tower moments, and then opportunities and doors opening left and right. And so for the last 3 years, it has been such a journey, a necessary journey. I might add. Because if it was all for journey events, tower moments, opportunities, doors opening, I wouldn't be where I am at today. So, and my healing is, I don't know how to describe it. The best way to describe it is how one needs to heal. So I can't give it any label or because literally every healing's different. So to say it's only past life regression or messages from loved ones, or, I would just be limiting the healing for oneself. And so that's the best way I can describe it, is however they need to be healed will take place.
I love that. Well, and that's, that is so true. It truly is. But it's also when they're open to receive.
Mhm.
And so I know you only allow those who come to you that are ready.
Yes, yes.
Just like I do in my practice. It's like, bring me the ones that I can help, that I can guide, because they're ready to heal.
Literally, yes. That's I want to say like 50% of the work is, self, and to be open to
Mhm.
it. And sometimes they don't even know, but their soul has already called for it.
Yeah, exactly. But their subconscious, that little gorilla in the corner, has said, okay, we need to do something different. So let's try something here. I don't care what it is. Let's try something and let the universe pick it. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, what are you doing? Can we talk? So, but you do something very, very unique. And I want to talk, most people don't know what hand trembling is.
Yeah.
And you do that eloquently and amazingly.
So hand trembling is part of the net tribe. In our culture, we have, that's what it is hand trembling. And from what I come to understand is energy being worked through the hands. And hand tremblers are all different in our culture. Um, you know, just like psychics, they all work differently. So some hand trembling can only diagnose. Some hand tremblings can find, let's say, bad medicine in a person or around the house, or just finding bad medicine. And then some hand tremblers can diagnose and heal a person. So there's different types of hand trembling. And it's literally what it sounds like, or the hand trembles, and helps the practitioner channel that way. So from how I understand it, the energy just goes through the hand, and it starts to shake, and that's how a hand trembler connects.
Is your hands like, for the lay person to understand, is it like an antenna to connect to their energies as your hands are trembling, that the energy's coming through you? I know there's a term of hollow bones, and hollow bones is where you're being used as a vessel for the creator and the energy to come through you, and that's how it connects with their ethereal cord, their frequencies, their vibrations. Is that a true
Um,
definition?
yeah, close enough. I think, spot on also, because like I said, they all work differently. So one can work strictly just, through their hands, um, or strictly, just one way. Um,
Mhm.
but through my journey, they have taken me in so many different places. They literally have shut off my hands and helped me understand how to connect through my crown. So through my practices, they have just shown me so many different things that I can do without using my hands. Um, but primarily energy, it really does. I can feel it through my hands, regardless of what I'm doing with energy. So
I
yes.
I'm the same. My hands are, for some reason, I could be cold, but my hands will be really, really hot. And it's just the energy moving through me, and just being there and being present because of everything I do beyond this podcast.
Mhm.
And so I know that you've been traveling recently. You've been on this mission, and I love this mission. I'm all about grid points and healing the ley lines of the planet, which I've been doing here on the Trail of Tears, because there's so much pain, there's so much hurt, there's so much sorrow from all the natives that were pushed westward out west. And a
Mhm.
lot of them died along the way. A lot of them ran away and were able to take comfort and security and safety elsewhere. But in the meantime, there's still a lot of the blood in the land that is very harsh, very dense because of the energy. And so, can we talk about your mission?
Wow. That's a whole new podcast.
It is. It is. It's like woo, woo, woo.
But where do I start with that also? Um, let's see. 3 years ago, I was sitting outside, and I asked for a mentor. And I just asked universe, bring me a mentor, because, I guess I need to do more stuff. I've literally been told from day one that I was going to do something very important. and being away from my people, not having, being an apprentice to a medicine man and not really understanding, I did not know where to go or how to start. So first thing is first, you ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mentor, please. And sure enough, about 6 months later, universe brought me a mentor, two, in fact. And so one mentor was to really guide me and help me understand um, what life really is about here on the 3D. And then the other mentor was to give me the experience. So linking that and that together, putting it both together, gave me a lot of wisdom and understanding of what one needs to accomplish here on Earth. And so that really helped change my vibration and my understanding of universal concepts and oneness, and all this quantum physics, quantum healing, and all that stuff. So that was a really, really amazing journey. But along that journey, one of my mentors really, we started working together, and she has been also guided to help heal the earth too, or whatever we need to do. So in the last year, we have been on a journey, going to these different places, and most of the times we don't know why we're going. It's just like a beacon lights up, and she'll say, "Jeanita, we have to go here." And without question, we'll be like, "Okay, let's go. Let's go see what there is over there."
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, there, when we get there, there's something that we find, that's something that is so it's so many different things, the message that come from it, the energy that is shifted in that area, why um why the world is changing or shifting, or why events are happening as they are. So for instance, one adventure or one journey that we went on was redwood forest, and that was amazing. Those trees are so And just to give you a little snippet of what happened and what they told me when I got there and I started doing energy work was okay, so when I channel with the earth or whoever, that whatever energy is there, is so animated. So I got to the redwood forest, and I was like, "Hello, you guys," and they're like, "Hello, Jeanita," and I'm like, "You know my name." Know everything. And I was like, "Oh, okay. So what am I here? Why'd you call me? Help me understand why you brought us here." And then he goes, "Well, to help you." I was like, "To help me with what?" He goes, "To help you learn. We're a library." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean? Help me, keep going, keep talking to me." And he goes, "You know how you humans, you guys have Akashic records?" I was like, "Yeah."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Well, a tree is the Akashic records of Earth,
Mm.
beings of us. And the redwood forest is the oldest living trees here on Earth, like really, really old, right?" So
Mm-hmm.
accumulated thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of information. So, and what we understand those rings is they record the weather and how it's like. But it just doesn't stop there. It also records the energetic of that year, what happened throughout the year. And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." I was like, "This is amazing." I was like, "That's really, really amazing." He goes, "Yeah." And then I was like, "So what else?" He goes, "Well, ask us anything." And I was like, I really don't know what to ask you." He goes, "Well, what about the drought? You have a drought going on." And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "So how can one fix a drought?" And then he goes, "So this hasn't, obviously this is the first time a drought has happened. It has
Mm-hmm.
happened different times. And it happened in a time where man was not connected to our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what I understand, we are just, everything around us is a perspective of us. So when we don't cry, we don't emotion, we're not vulnerable, we don't show the tears, guess what Earth is going to do? Not cry.
Mm.
Rain. She's not going to be in touch with her emotion side. She's just showing us what humans are like. So the tree's like, so that's back when I think it was the Aztec or the Mayans when they were praying about water also, to the, you can literally see them sitting and they're crying, they're begging, please bring us water, and they got there in touch with their emotional side, and then bam, it rained. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. I was like, that's interesting. He goes, yep. So if you need a question again, come back.
Awesome.
And we'll put it, we'll take out info for you and give it to you. And I was like, okay, I guess that's really amazing. And then we started walking again. Then I saw a spiral one, and I stopped, and I was like, how come you're spiral and then you're not? And then, and they're like, well, us trees, just like you humans, we're all different. Some of us record. Some of us are timekeepers. Some of us carry medicine. That's why there's tree medicine, right? Some of us are healers. Some of us, like the swirly ones, connect to the galactics. Hence, Sedona. They have a lot of swirly ones. So he's like, that's why we're all different. Just look at us. And he's like, just look at us. Look how we are arranged and stuff like that. There's a straight one, a spiral one, and then one that's, kind of leaning, and it's just nicely spread out. And I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. I was like, that's amazing. And so yeah, everywhere we go, I am getting all these different kind of messages. And another important one that I do want to share with you really quick, if that's okay.
It's perfectly fine. You have plenty of time. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Is before we took off to the Redwood Forest in California, we did a healing in North Dakota, the river there, the water there. And what had happened was, what it felt like happened was, took out all the bad energy of the lake, and I took it to the ocean. And so when I was sitting on top of that rock, and it was crazy because it's not coincident, because it doesn't, nothing happens by accident, right?
Right.
Is summer solstice when we got there on the day of, at noontime, sat up on that rock, and how it felt like, how they showed me was like an oil change. They drained the darkness out of me from behind and filled the summer solstice sunlight within me. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And back to North Dakota. And so my mentor is like, come on, let's go down to the lake to see what it says to you this time. I was like, okay, let's go. So we got down there, and the water is like, oh, hey, it's you two. I was like, yeah, it's us. I was like, how are you doing? And he looked at me. He's like, there's something different about you. And I was like, there's something different about you too. And he goes, well, that's because you took everything and took it to the water and brought back sunlight to me. And I was like, oh, but I was like, but I don't understand. I was like, you are the ocean, you are the earth. How come you can't do it yourself? Like, you're very powerful. Why? Help me understand why you couldn't do it yourself. And the water's like, well, he's like, sit down, let me tell you a story. And I was like, okay. He's like, once upon a time, I could reach the ocean. I had a direct line to it. But because cities started growing, people started stagnant, living in one place, there was no longer a harmonious movement. The birds stopped, the buffaloes were killed, so they stopped moving. The birds stopped flying. Migrations shifted because cities started growing. So because everybody got stuck, I can't reach the ocean anymore from here. Even do it for me. The buffaloes can't carry it for me. Even men, the natives migrated all the time. So in perfect balance and harmony, it used to be like that because we kept moving. We weren't stagnant like you guys are today. And then I have a funny guy that comes in. Like, he's really, really, really funny. And he comes in and he's like, and not only that, but and I hope you don't mind me, because
I don't.
He's like, and besides, it's your shit.
Well,
I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's human stuff. So I guess we got to clean it up, right? And
Well,
so, okay, I was like, that makes sense then. And so, you know, it does make a huge difference in how times have changed and us being stagnant, especially in moving, and all that takes effect on when something stops, everything else stops. It trickles through.
Mm-hmm.
And
It does.
so he's like, you know, a long time ago I used to, but now I.
Well, I love the water. I love the water. I love being around moving water, and we go to a lake all the time. But I heard from the water myself. Then this was probably in May when we went out there, and it was like, I'm struggling to stay clean, I'm struggling to stay pure, I'm struggling. They dammed me up. They're letting it rise instead of getting the flow, because it had rained so much. They were trying to, you know, let out as much as they could, or keep up, raise the level of the lake because it could handle it. But they forgot that the spirits of the lake were struggling with what man was doing to it. And somehow whenever I go to the lake, I just carry crystals. And most of them are just clear quartz. But this time I took a Lemurian crystal, and I had the forethought that I had to put this in the lake to help it from struggling, to bring the oceans of Lemuria here to help it step out of being, I don't know, just overused, overdone, drained. But as they're raising the levels, the mountains were shaking, and they were like this, you know, these are high levels, and we haven't been here in a long time. So I put the Lemurian crystals in, and all of a sudden the water just went to glass. And I said, thank you for being here. Thank you for supplying water to the earth, but thank you for speaking with me. And it was the first time I had ever spoken to water, the first time ever. I know that when that pipeline was going on, I sent out probably $400 worth of supplies to them, as far as blankets and coats and different things out there for them, because that's what they needed the most. And there was no way I could send food because there wasn't a lot of can openers out there, you know. So it was like, so I just sent it out to a friend of mine, and they took it up to the pipeline to help anybody that was participating in defending the water of Mother Earth. So it is stepping up and taking that action. And that's, I love these stories, Jeanita. I love them. But you also are helping ley lines. Mm-hmm. And most people, for me, and this is just something that it was channeled to me from Mother Earth, was like, the oil is up my blood. That's my blood that's flowing through this earth, is the oil. That's why it's so deep down in there. There's so many other things you can do. Why do you need to take my oil and abuse it and use it? And so I was like, oh, wow, that's a whole different perspective of oil when you understand it the way it is. And the layers are there for a reason. The platonic plates are there for keeping it moving, the energy of the core. And so again, with a lot of advancement and ascension, you get these messages and you're like, wow, that's amazing. Let me write this down before I forget it, you know, because I'm like, yeah, I'll forget it. But it is the same thing. And I wish more people would understand that what they do, how they walk on this earth, is how the earth reacts.
Yes.
And I just think that it's beautiful what your mission is, I think, and I'm honored that I know you and you're doing this for them, because a lot of people, the one thing that I noticed today while we're talking is that you have healed your wounds. You have healed your heart. You have healed everything that you've been through in your life. And you've laid it's what I call foundations, and you've laid that all down as a foundation for you to step up for yourself and to be able to stand in your own power. And that's why I don't know. I interviewed you before. Let's just be honest. I interviewed you before. It was a disaster. Loss of Wi-Fi. It was so bad, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to tell her it was junk, and I couldn't save it. But can we do it again? And I thought, you know what? This is going to be so much better than what the first one was, because of how centered I am, how centered you are, and how connected we are. It's just like holding love for the planet. And that's what we both do. That is exactly what we both do. But I champion you as somebody that I highly respect and honor, because of you've taken everything that you've been through and healed it. And that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. It shows in your face. But the last thing I wanted to talk to you about, one of the things that you did to walk through one of your fears was jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. I just want to put it out there. Okay. I just want to put it out there. Can you share that experience with the audience? Because it's amazing.
Yeah, that was honestly, I did not know that was coming. I really did it. Again, my mentor was with me, and she was like, Jeanita, come out to Las Vegas. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'll stay here. I'll pay for everything. Just come out. And I was like, fine. Okay. I'll come out. And we got there, and then the night before, she's like, we're going to go skydiving tomorrow. I'm like, what? Didn't tell me that. She's like, oh, you want to know why? I was like, yeah. It's like, I know why, because I'm scared of heights. And she's like, there you go. You got to conquer it. So if I were to tell you that from the beginning, you wouldn't come. You stand in your way.
Yep.
No, you stand in your own way and blame it on money or time, and you wouldn't come. So I'm paying for you. So you have no excuse whatsoever. I'm like, like, the only thing that's standing in your own way is you. And I was like, whatever. I was like, fine, let's go. I swear this lady is, she's put me through boot camp journey. I had, for the first 6 months, I had a hate and love relationship with her, because she called me out on so many things that was so true. Right. And I was really standing in my own way. So back to the skydiving story. So we went up, and she took me on the plane, and I jumped out. It was amazing. Went all the way down, and the whole day I think I was in shock. And it was the crazy thing, because I was sitting and trying to grasp what just happened. And I was happy, but then at the same time I was kind of numb, but then I couldn't believe it. And I looked at her, and I was like, is this what it means for your inner child to come out? She's like, there you go. I want to have fun. I want that little inside you to come out. It's time to have fun, Jeanita. This life isn't about working, making money, working yourself to death. It's not the thing that has been programmed for everybody to do. For you to come back and be a child again, be childlike, and have fun. Let your heart do whatever it wants to do. Let it play.
And you broke a barrier. You broke one of those innate, egotistic, subconscious barriers, blocks, and fears. And so it would take a little bit to process through all of that and be like, what the hell did I just do here? You know? And for it to get all the way through here and down to your heart, it's probably one of the most cherished stories you tell, because you broke the barrier of your old paradigm to allow the new in.
It was, and that's why I love it when I can really understand the guidance from people and the experience. When you mesh those two together, it is the most powerful thing you can give to yourself. And if you don't take that door, if you keep standing in your way, you will never understand what it means to be childlike.
Well, you helped me walk through mine 2 years ago, because I had to get post-certified in Tennessee to at the police academy. I was 60 years old. I was 190 pounds. I'm working out, but it's still the doubts, the fears, the whatever were coming up. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I've got to do this. Tell me I can't, watch me. And I did. I went through 12 weeks of extensive training. I was driving back and forth. It was 120 miles and a time change. So I was living down there away from home, away from my comfort zone, away from everything, and going from, 5 o'clock in the morning to sometimes 9 and 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. And it was extreme. And it wasn't that I was going through barriers. I was showing myself that I can still do it, no matter the age. Age is just a number. So it helped me break that barrier. And it was just, there was so many, because it was so analytical and so absolute. I'm an airhead. I'm an energy healer. And it's like, oh shit, what did I get myself in here to? But I made it fun. I made it fun. I was the oldest there, but I wasn't the last one in PT. I wasn't the last one runner. I wasn't any of that. I started out being that. And I said to myself, I'm not going to be the last one. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't. And that was a great goal for me to accomplish, because I was competing against 19 through 50-year-old people. And I'm out running the 19-year-olds. I'm out running some of the 20-year-olds. I'm out running some of the 30-year-olds. I'm out running the 40s and the 50-year-olds. And I'm older than all of them. Mm-hmm. And so it was a breaking of a barrier to remind you, or remind me, that I can still do anything. Uh-huh. I just have to trust myself.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story.
So I can really, really relate to breaking barriers. And I've been breaking barriers all my life. But sometimes when you, again, get stagnant, get in your comfort zone, all of a sudden you need something to kind of like shake up the bag and go, guess what, we're done.
Plot twist. I am still scared of heights.
That's never going to change. But that was a different height.
Yeah, I'm still conquering them. Every day there's a cliff, or there's a mountain that I hike, or the Grand Canyon I just went to last week. I went with my daughter, Gracie, and she wanted to get to the cliff, but I was like, oh, crawl there. Crawl there, sat there for literally 1 second. I was like, all right, we're gone. Let's go. And crawled back, and I held her hand everywhere we went, because I was like, nope, you're not going that way. I really wanted to put a bell on her, and one of those is. We went with my mom too. She kept going. I was like, Mom, get back over here.
Yes. But she is such a free spirit. She is such a warrior. So she has no fears of anything. Yeah. And that's amazing. Keep her that way.
She's an amazing little girl.
Yes. I've been a fan of Gracie's for a long time. I've been a fan of hers. But in closing, how can somebody get a hold of you if they want a healing, if they just want to get in touch with you more to find out if they can, what you could do to help them? Let's just put it out that way.
The best way to get a hold of me is through Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Red Streak Medicine. And lately here, I've been getting back to going live more often. So that would be the best way to get a hold of me, through Facebook Messenger also, only because I have so many things going on. I really haven't had time to focus to set up a business.
Right.
Because, for me, that's not priority anymore. I have, it shifted a little bit different for me. And I am in Arizona, and I feel like maybe, I think next year, I'm going to have some kind of something else going on. We'll just put it that way. They're not really telling me what it is. I kind of have an idea, but I'll just wait till it happens. Right. But like I said, Facebook would be the best place to get a hold of me, and join my page. Like I said, I go live every so often doing readings, mediumship readings, or even healings too. So, and I'm going to school, so I really am a little bit busy trying to balance everything with everything.
Yes.
So, yeah.
What does that say? Such is life. Such is life. Because when I went and got my degree, you're in your 30s, right? Mm-hmm. I was in my late 30s, early 40s, and I went to school and finally got my degree, and was working full time, coaching girls flag football and tennis. And so I understand this path that you're walking so much. So I was up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because I went to school online.
Oh, okay.
So I did everything online. And thank God the male coaches, a couple of them were math teachers, because it was like, man, I'm in these rooms and I'm trying to figure this out. And it just is Greek English to me. Please help me. I need to just pass the class. If I pass with a D, I don't mind. You know, I mean, that was my expectation. And I passed one class with a C and one with a D. And I was like, woohoo! But it took a hit on my GPA. I was pissed. But it was like, you know, I had a 4.0 and all of a sudden I dropped down to a 3.38. But it was still a middle B. So I was like, okay, I'll accept it. I'll take it. I'll own it. It's mine. You can't take it away. So, but I want to thank you for being here today. I enjoy seeing you. I don't get to see you enough because of our schedules are conflicting. And, but I think of you often. I love you dearly. I honor you in everything I do. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day. And we'll see you around.
Okay. Hold on just 1 second. It takes a special kind of individual to dream their thoughts and ideas and turn them into realities. Jeanita has done that. She stepped past her fears, stayed the course, and had the courage to follow through to the end. Jeanita, you've championed yourself. Now we know who you've become. Thank you for sharing your obstacles, your pains, your traumas, and also your birthing into the person that you are, becoming the best version of you, and the things that you do for our planet. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Have a great day. And again, if you want to get a hold of Jeanita, it'd be Red Streak Medicine in Facebook. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.